Metro Police also making an arrest in a double homicide at the Sawmill Saloon. It happened back in January on the east side. Investigators say 32-year-old Jerrick Whitley is responsible for gunning down 24-year-old Duran Gray and 50-year-old James Ratcliffe. He's also charged with shooting 49-year-old Anthony Christopher. You may recall they were three of several people shot, 5 in all, 2 of them fatally. Investigators say they learned Whitley was involved in the shooting and took him into custody at a home on Broadway Street. He has active warrants for murder, robbery, and dealing narcotics. And it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Let's get over to Alyssa Donovan, tracking chances for severe weather and what you need to know to plan your Monday. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Matt. We are seeing some active weather moving through the area right now. That's why we are at a Storm Team 6 alert day. Oh, well, we're having some issues with our graphics over here. There we go. Slow-moving thunderstorms moving through right now. A lot of those are to the north of us. And then as we head through the evening, we do have that potential of that heavy rain and lightning as these systems push through. A flood warning is in effect. 2 flood warnings rather in effect right now, and those are to the north of us. Let me take you right to those. So these areas, Hamilton County as well as Harrison County, have already received 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and we have an additional 1 to 2 inches possible over the next few hours. So we do have that potential of some flooding in those areas, and these are in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. So just be aware of that. If you're heading to the north, if you live up there, you are going to continue seeing these heavy rainfall possibilities. That's because we have these slow-moving storms, and you can see that right on our radar. These are moving to the northeast, and they're moving very slowly, bringing a lot of rainfall with them. We do have the possibility of seeing those kick up again as we head into the early evening hours, so just be aware of that. We do have that possibility of some heavy rainfall here in Indianapolis as well. Overnight in the 70s. Tomorrow we're into the 80s with more chances of showers and storms. I'll have those details in just a little bit.
All right, Alyssa, thanks. Dozens of people are back home after rallying for immigration reform. The peaceful protest unfolding outside the Irvington Branch Library. Let's get right out to RTV6's Derek Thomas. He's live there. Derek, you're learning about a special deportation fight.
That's right, Matt. This immigration debate has twists and turns, and this evening we know that it affects our neighbors. Enrique Gonzalez is from El Salvador, and Harlan Wilson is from Indianapolis. Gonzalez entered the country illegally in 2005. When he was 19 years old, the pair got married in 2014. Gonzalez has been able to live here because an immigration judge granted him a stay of removals under the basis of extreme hardship and the couple's marriage. And now that stay is in serious jeopardy, and Gonzalez may be deported, and Wilson will go with him. That prospect is not appealing.
We are going to fight this fight, and we are going to win. And the winning might look different to all of us because we may be on the beach in El Salvador. I don't know. Now, all I can say is that's not going to be good because things in El Salvador are extremely dangerous, and we do not want to go to El Salvador, but the reality is we're going to stand and we're going to fight, and we're going to fight for the other people.
We're not going to be divided from one another, that it doesn't matter whether someone is documented or not, a citizen or not, that primarily what we are is neighbors, and we're to treat neighbors exactly how we want to be treated, to love one another as we would want to be loved ourselves.
About 50 people attended the rally. Wilson and Gonzalez have a website called deportinglove.com. If you want to follow their fight, you can go to that website. They say the fight continues. Live on the east side, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
New at 6, we are learning a person has been airlifted to Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis from Columbus, Indiana, after being shot multiple times. It happened at an apartment complex just after 2 p.m. Investigators tell us they do have a suspect in custody tonight. There's no word yet on the victim's condition. Tonight, police are asking anyone with information to come forward about the shooting death of a man found in the parking lot of a Safeway grocery store on the west side. Investigators say someone found a man in his 30s in the parking lot near 30th and Kessler. He'd been shot. Investigators believe the shooting happened somewhere else. If you have any information on the case, call Crime Stoppers. That number 317-262-TIPS. A Johnson County mother is behind bars tonight after police say they found her passed out on a front porch with her 3 children inside home alone. Neighbors told police they could hear a baby screaming from Elizabeth Bittner's home on Glendale Trailer Court. Inside, there was a three-month-old baby, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. Court documents show deputies found an empty box of wine lying next to Bittner and a spray can of glue. Bittner admitted that she was huffing glue and drinking wine. She is now charged with child neglect and disorderly conduct. Child Protective Services is now involved. Right now, a man is recovering after an argument escalated into a shooting at a downtown gas station. IMPD was called to the BP on 38th Street just after 1:30 a.m. Police say an argument that started inside spilled outside to the parking lot. One man was taken to Methodist Hospital in stable condition. Police say they located another man a few blocks from the scene. That shooting is under investigation. We're now learning authorities believe speed and alcohol are factors in a serious boat crash that happened Saturday night on Lake Schaefer near Monticello. Witnesses say a boat hit a tree hanging over the lake. The person steering that boat was knocked unconscious, the boat running onto the ground. 3 people are hurt, one of them with life-threatening injuries. Contractors hit a natural gas pipeline in Madison County, forcing crews to shut down parts of New Columbus Road. Authorities say when they got to the scene, they also noticed a sinkhole opening up in the middle of the roadway. One resident had to evacuate. That road will remain closed until it is deemed safe. The Johnson County 4-H Fair kicking off this afternoon at the fairgrounds in Franklin. A ton of events going on today. Pets doing tricks and showing their agility in a dog show. Of course, the rides, as you just saw there, people snacking, car collectors showing off their prized possessions. A lot of fun being had out there. It's hot outside, but as you can tell, everybody having a pretty nice time. Still to come, the face-to-face between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. Protesters take to the streets ahead of the summit in Helsinki.
Yeah, they tried to extort us, and we held firm, and they took what I said, and they ran to Forbes.
All new tonight, bombshell allegations from the former head of Papa John's. He claims he could not be bought, so he stepped down instead. Alyssa.
Well, we are in for some active weather this evening, already making its way through the region. 2 areas under flood warnings. I'll have all those details coming up.
Owned Hondas at Honda of Fishers.
From the station working for you, this is RTV6 News at 6.
Welcome back. President Trump has arrived in Helsinki, Finland, ahead of a major summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. The president says his expectations are low, but he hopes something good comes from the meeting. Tomorrow's meeting is set to be the first official Russian-U.S. presidential summit since 2010. They are expected to discuss a number of topics, including Russian meddling in the election, Syria, arms control, and Putin's 2014 takeover of Crimea from Ukraine. Twitter has suspended 2 accounts allegedly used by Russian intelligence to spread hacked information during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The social media giant says the accounts for Guccifer2 and DC Leaks have been suspended. The move comes one day after 12 Russian intelligence officers were indicted for allegedly hacking the computers and email accounts of Democrats. Prosecutors say the hackers targeted Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, the Democratic National Committee, and the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Protesters are taking to the streets in Chicago after a deadly police-involved shooting of a black man. Police say the 37-year-old was shot and killed when it appeared he was reaching for a weapon. ABC's Richard Cantu reveals Chicago PD released that body camera footage.
Outrage growing in Chicago after a police officer shot and killed a black man on the city's south side. Officers on foot patrol noticed a man they believed to be armed. That man, now identified as 37-year-old Harith Augustus.
When they approached him, he tried to push their hands away, started flailing and swinging away, trying to make his escape. And as he was making his escape, reached for his weapon. Investigators say they did recover a gun at the scene, but witnesses are telling a different story.
The officer got out of the car and shot him 7 times. End of story.
The shooting sparking immediate protests that left 4 officers injured and led to several arrests. In a rare move, the Chicago Police Department releasing body cam footage less than 24 hours after the shooting. William Calloway, an activist instrumental in getting video released of the 2014 fatal shooting of unarmed teen Laquan McDonald by a Chicago police officer, demanding change.
We're tired. We're fed up. Whether that one was justified or not, they just don't understand. You're continuously killing us. You're killing us.
The city's Civilian Office of Police Accountability releasing a statement saying they are committed to a thorough, objective, and unbiased investigation and ask for the public's patience and cooperation. The officer involved in the shooting has been placed on desk duty during the investigation. Richard Cantu, ABC News, New York.
Tonight, the ousted founder of Papa John's Pizza is accusing his company's marketing agency of trying to blackmail him for $6 million. John Schnatter has seen massive fallout from a racial slur said on a call with the company's marketing agency. Now he says that the company tried to blackmail him to bury the story. Schnatter says the marketing agency wanted him to add a famous rapper to its advertising campaign to soften the fallout from the NFL kneeling controversy.
It wasn't a slur. It was a session on strategy and media planning and training. And I repeated something that somebody else said and said we're not going to say that. We don't use that kind of language and vocabulary.
Schnatter says he feels like some of his closest allies have rushed to judgment. He's resigned from his positions at Papa John's and also his seat on the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees. Online shoppers are preparing for Amazon Prime Day tomorrow, and authorities say so are criminals. Law enforcement says you'll want to make sure you track your packages, pick them up as soon as possible, and ask a neighbor or friend to take it inside if needed. Sergeant John Perrine says you can even talk to your regular delivery person to put the package in a discreet place because criminals, they'll be looking out for lone packages left on doorsteps.
I do know it's enticing. People drive by, they see packages on a porch, they might watch that house and notice that nobody's home, and it becomes easy pickings.
Easy pickings. You can also use one of those 11 Amazon lockers in Indianapolis where you can get your packages. We have how you can find the closest one to you on the Indy channel's Hot Button tab. And as we look out over the pagoda, it is a very warm Sunday night across the region. And Alyssa, I know you were tracking the chances for some severe weather.
Yes, and a lot of that active weather was actually to the north of us. And we do have the possibility of seeing some of those pop-up showers and storms here in Indianapolis as we head into the evening. Looks like at this point we could see some heavy downpours as well as lightning with those systems. And then we do continue to see those chances of storms as we head into tomorrow. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to continue seeing those chances of storms tonight, overnight until about 1 a.m. and then again we'll see those kick up again tomorrow. So we do have that active weather moving through. Right now it's 86 degrees. That humidity is at 61%. Winds out of the west-southwest at 14 miles per hour. So those have picked up a little bit as this system starts to move through. Behind it we are going to see another system just on the tail of it. So this is just some convection from this really mix of that high pressure and low pressure moving across the area. And you can see right around Kokomo we've seen a lot of that active weather as well as Noblesville. Those two areas have seen 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and they're both under advisories right now, rather warnings, Howard and Hamilton County until 8 p.m. tonight, because you guys could see an additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall possible as these systems continue to push through this early evening. Again, we could see those into the overnight hours, but likely before 1 a.m. So just be aware of that. Flooding is very possible in those areas right now. And as you can see on our radar, we're going to continue seeing that. All of that is coming from this cold front that's starting to dip across the region. That's bringing us that active weather, and we're going to see that again throughout the day tomorrow. Chances of showers and storms really kind of dissipate as we head into Tuesday, and then we're going to see just cooler weather take over. Temperatures will be in the 80s as we see high pressure from the north really dip down and take over until Thursday. By Friday, more active weather on the way. So the middle of the week's looking very good. 72 overnight tonight with those chances of some scattered storms, especially early this evening. Tomorrow, highs will be in the mid to upper 80s with those chances of scattered storms again. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to continue seeing some active weather. For the rest of the week, temperatures in the 80s. It's going to be mostly sunny Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then more slight chances of storms next weekend.
All right, Alyssa, thanks. You had me at cooler weather. And whatever the weather, back to school season is almost upon us. Can you believe it? The annual RTV6 school supply collection is next Wednesday, July 18th, and there are a few things in specific that we really need you to donate. There's a need for notebooks, pens, paper, pencils, folders, and a lot of other materials on Monument Circle, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So come meet us down at the Circle. Still to come, detecting signs of dementia early on. The latest breakthrough in medical technology that could be life-saving.
Storm Team 6, working for you.
Welcome back. Should annual physicals include a brain checkup? Kamasi Aaron shows us a helmet that can help prevent things like dementia.
At 50 years old, being active was Shelley Sadler's way of life.